Hi all. So welcome to this channel once again, and today I'm presenting this topic that is use of handlers in SQL UDF, that is user defined functions or table functions. Basically they are not limited to the only user defined functions. They can be used in stored procedures or user defined table function, or here as well in user defined function. So let me brief you about all these things, then I'll show you one or two examples for the demo. So basically we have two constructs here. First is the condition declaration, and the second one is the condition handler. So condition declaration is something we declare a condition, just like we declare a variable. We declare a condition for some error. Error is denoted by SQL state here. So we basically declare some condition for a particular SQL state. So for example, if record not found, or record already exists, or record any error which you want to notify, or for which I want to define a condition, so I'll use declare, then that condition name, anything we can specify here, and then condition for, then 5 characters of SQL code comes here basically. So this would be the first thing, is to declare the condition and then to handle that condition. So for example, I define not found condition here. So in case I check for record and I don't find that record, so I don't want to stop the further processing, so I want to continue with the process. So what I would do, I would handle that error. So then I would have to declare the handler for that condition. So handler can be of um, three types here basically, but we'll discuss about two: exit and continue. So but there can be undo as well, which is basically used for atomic uh, functions. So whenever we defined our control body as an atomic, then only we'll be using this. For example, we are doing commit or rollback. So whenever in case of rollback, we'll define undo handler, but we don't need undo as in general purpose. Now we basically use continue or exit handler. So here I can either define declare a continue or declare an exit handler for my condition which I declared here. So either I want to exit on that condition if record not found, or I want to continue. So it depends upon me. And then a statement, then that is an SQL statement which you will specify. So basically we can declare an exit or continue handler for these types of conditions. So whether it's an SQL exception is anything which does not starts with SQL state 00, 01 or 02, maybe other than that, then it's an SQL exception. And we basically, whenever we execute an SQL statement and we get the exception, so we basically get that by get diagnostic in the SQL programming. SQL warning is something which starts with 01, and not found is something which is started with the 02 SQL state, and else is fine, 00 is fine means. So we can define the handlers like this. So it's an SQL exception, or it's an warning, or it's not found, or whether we can specify an SQL state value for any SQL state, particular SQL state we want to do handling, we can do. So let me move on to the example. So let me show you this example. Here you can see I am creating a user defined table function named getData, whose specific name is also getData, and I'm using language SQL for that. So here I am not taking any input parameters, but I'm returning the table having these columns. So that's, it's a virtual table which get returns with the following columns: student ID of decimal this, student name of character 20, student marks decimal 3, 0. This function is a non-deterministic it reads SQL data. It's there are no external action in this one. Not fenced means it would run in the same thread. No high level code gets executed from this, right, like insertion or updation of the SQL data. So it's only read the SQL data, it does not modify that, it does not modify that, or it's non-deterministic means we pass some input, the value would be different every time even if the input is same. But here we are not requiring any input, so we are getting the data every time from the table. That can be that can vary in itself. Now this is the set option, which is for debug purpose. Here I am generating the listing for this, and this is commitment control star null. This is for debug view, star source for debugging the user defined table function. Now here you can see this is the body, begin and end for this user defined table function. Now you can see I defined student as stid, stname, stmarks, same as which I am trying to get in a form of table. So basically you can see I have declared all these things. Then I'm to show you the handler here. So let me tell you, first thing is declaration part. Declare, so I declared this leave loop. Okay, here I'm not using this condition handler. There are two ways, let me tell you that. Either I can first declare the construct condition declaration and then the condition handler, but here we have a way to declare it in on a single line. We don't need to split it in two lines. That is, we can declare or the handler directly. So declare a continue handler. So here I am declaring the continue handler. For here the condition comes is SQL state 0200. So basically what happens here is either I can define this SQL state separately, that is I can define a condition here that declare this condition for SQL state this. So I'm not declaring that condition separately as a variable, so I'm directly using this SQL state. So I can declare like this, declare condition continue handler for SQL state this. So I have declared this handler for this SQL state, which is for not found condition. Now what happens, I have to provide the set statement here, SQL statement. So what I'm doing, in case record not found, what I'll do, I'll set leave loop as 1, which I have declared as an integer variable. So you can see here is this is the cursor where so the first thing is to declare the cursor. So declare get underscore data cursor for select student ID name marks from this table, order by marks. So basically I am selecting these columns from this table, and then after this SQL statement I just defined the handler and setting the leave loop 1 once this condition occur. Then I have to open the cursor, as you can see. Then I have applied the loop. So loop 1 will be applied here, loop and end loop here. So you can see then I'm fetching the data from the cursor into these fields which I just declared. So in loop I am getting the data one by one, every one record at a time, and I have applied the condition if leave loop equals to 1, then leave loop 1, and if so in case leave loop variable becomes 1, we'll leave the loop, that is I'll come out of end loop. that will come out of loop. Then here after this you can see I am using the pipe, which is just to return one row at a time uh, in this table actually. So pipe is basically used, which is basically, you can see this is a pipeline SQL UDF. So here I am returning one row at a time using this pipe. So I am setting these values in the return columns. So once all the data gets fetched one by one, the table would be returned. So you can see then end loop, the loop again execute, it will check if leave loop equals to 1. Currently leave loop is 0 because it is default 0. Then once it gets executed, every time once all the data is read from the file, SQL state 02000 occurs, and in that way this set statement gets executed. So once the set statement gets executed, leave loop equals to 1 would get set, and then then this condition would get checked, and the loop is left from here. That is, once we fetch the data from this cursor and we have read all the record of the file using this cursor, and the last record is already reached, so in that case we'll face this, or we'll encounter this SQL state. And once this SQL state gets encountered using this SQL statement, the continue handler gets executed and it will set the leave loop value as 1. So once this leave loop value equals to 1 set, then we'll leave the loop and we'll basically then close the cursor and then return the table, which is basically table with these columns which are set by using this pipe statement, that is one row at a time. So it will return all the row in this loop. So this way you can see once you can see this was the loop which is running infinitely. There are no conditions, but inside that loop we have a condition that leave loop equals to 1, and that would only get set once all the records are fetched using this cursor fetch statements. So once that would get fetched, we need to continue our process. So we have defined the continue handler here for SQL state 02000, which is for not found condition, and then in that case set leave loop equals to leave loop variable gets set to 1 and will come out of the loop. So basically you can see the function of continue handler here. Now let me compile this, run SQL stm UDF easy class 1 UDF 24. So this was the get data. So you can see the service program object gets created of CLE attribute. Let me do the strSQL. Now select from, just run that table function, table, then this function, it does not accept any parameter, then end of table function, then give it an alias name, let's say x. So you'll see you won't find any record and that condition gets handled. Let me insert some record. So now this table has some records. So it has these 12 records. Now let's execute the user defined table function, this one. So you can say you will find the results, and this is ordered by the student marks in the descending order. So you can see the marks are in descending order. So this way you are able to execute even when the uh, not found condition reached. Your program will continue and your loop will exit, and then after that your cursor gets closed, and then you will return the table from that SQL user defined table function. Now the same way I would show you this one more example where I'm handling the error. So here you can see I'm basically doing character to date conversion. So I am accepting a character value of uh, in variable this date char of length 8, so and returning the date, returns date. These are the SQL function properties which I already explained, I think, on the previous example. Returns null or null input, it basically returns null if I pass null from the calling UDTF. Now here you can see, here we specified the begin atomic. Begin atomic is something when we execute more than one set statement, then all set statements should get executed successfully. All should be set to true. Even if any one of gets failed, all the set statements would get rollback. Whatever they have changed or made, whatever changes they have made, they will be rolled back automatically if we define our body as an begin atomic. Now here you can see I defined a convert date of date type after that. Now that's what I was showing you in the previous example. I used this one, declare continue handler for SQL state 02000. But here you can see I am using the exit handler for SQL state this, which is basically for input date is invalid. So date or time is invalid, so for that this SQL state is. So either I can define it like this or I can define it like this. That is first declaring the condition as I described here, that is declare invalid date condition for this SQL state, and then I can use that in the handler, declare exit handler for condition, for my condition. So condition is this condition, either I can directly use this or I can use a condition invalidate, and this invalidate is basically defined on this SQL state. So both the ways are possible, either I can use only one single line or I can declare the same thing using these two lines. So both are same. Now what I'm doing, I'm executing a statement. So what I'm doing, I'm using the signal, I'm setting a message underscore text as this one, like such as input date is invalid from this function, and I'm setting an SQL state. So SQL state is something which is customized. This is not defined anywhere that for this message this SQL state is mentioned. There is no definition for this. I just write it by my own. You can take anything else like 44540, anything you can specify for this customized message. Now you can see I'm using the set statement. So I am basically converting that date character value to the date, and then concatenating this with this, and then setting the date and then returning the date. So in case what happened, whenever I pass a wrong date, invalid date, then what happened was this set statement gets executed, and if any error occurs it will go to this handler, and this is an exit handler. So whenever this is exiting, so it would come into the end of the body, and it would signal, basically it would signal this SQL state and set this message, and this message would be seen to us. So let me compile this as well. So this is compiled successfully. This was the function name. Let me call this. So this is an SQL UDF, not a UDTF. So we'll call it by sys IBM dot systemy1. So let's use this function here. I need to pass a value in year. Let's say this. If I pass this character value, then we'll get the date like this, first 85. If I pass 25 like this, so you'll get, this is the month and this is date and this is the year. Now if I pass list 1939 1231, you can see input date is invalid and returned from the signal. So you can see either we can use signal, resignal, or raise underscore error. So let me show you further that it should be in the range from this to 1940 to 2039. So basically the date we pass is 1939. So if it was 1940, we won't get error. So the same way, if it is 2039 1231, we won't get error, but if it becomes 2040 0101, we will get the error that it is not in limit. As we can see, the range is this for these types of date formats, and we are also getting our message which is returned from the signal. So basically here we have defined the exit handler. So this example tells you how to use exit handler, and this example tells you how to use continue handler here. And the same way we can define like declare continue handler or declare exit handler for like SQL state we are using here. So we can declare SQL exception also, SQL exception or SQL warning. So we can directly write for SQL exception or for SQL warning. So whenever we are declaring these things, like for example I am declaring continue handler. Let me show you this one. Continue handler for invalid date. So this can be there can be multiple conditions. So I mentioned here that declare continue handler or exit handler, whatever you are declaring for condition 1 or condition 2, etc. You can have multiple conditions separated by comma. So this way you can define or you can use the handlers in the function. You can try SQL exceptions or warning same way at your side. Use the get diagnostic function procedure, or you can say get diagnostic procedure, and you can directly get the exceptions after executing your functions. So SQL statements, whatever SQL statement you are executing, you can get the information of that SQL statement using the get diagnostic, and you can handle this SQL exception or SQL warning the same way. So that's all in this video. Thank you and have a nice time.